everybody. Nice to see you again. And Steve Dunn, Natali Marmion. How often do you watch Jeopardy? That's the question of the day.
Well, not often. Simple answer to that. I don't watch it often anymore,
Really?
but we used to watch it all the time
Yes.
in the newsroom, didn't we? It was
How many
so
of those
much fun.
did you answer correctly?
Oh, you've met me, so I'm going to say 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. That's actually pretty good.
That's actually pretty good.
That might get you on the show. You know, we do.
Did you watch it?
Absolutely. I was
Could
horrible.
you answer
I'm
any-
horrible at that.
I am too.
I can't do that answer in the form of a question deal.
Right.
That's what screwed me up. If you just could answer the question,
Or
I could do
multiple
it.
choice would have been maybe better.
Much better. Or just give me the answer, but even better than that. Hey, we have a 4-time Jeopardy champion on our program today.
And it's not either one of us.
It's neither one of us. But that's not all he has to that amazing resume. I'm going to keep it a secret, in fact. So stay tuned for this. In the meantime,
Such
how you
an
been?
interesting
You got
guy.
your hair done. Looks nice.
Well, thank you for noticing.
You just got it done.
Yeah, it was just
then
a
you got
quick
stuck
20
behind a
minute
train
appointment.
on your way over
It's been
here.
a day, and then I had to come talk to you.
Best part of it, when
I'm
you
exhausted.
say. Best part of the day. So let's talk about, go back in time just a little bit when we worked together at K2 and
20 years we worked together.
20 years.
And we're still talking. How about that?
What an amazing feat. And one thing that people like to talk about is the time that you got sick on the set. Do you remember
I was
that?
pregnant.
Yes.
Right. Let's be clear.
I should have mentioned that.
Should have mentioned that. That was honestly one of the... Number one, I love when people say, I remember when you were pregnant. I was pregnant at the same time. People never say that to you, do
No,
they?
no one has
so
ever
that's
said that.
something that would only happen with me. But I had horrible morning and all-day sickness with both those babies. And sure enough, I had gotten sick. You know, thankfully there was a trash can in between. Dan Tilkin saved me one of the times. Rhonda saved me many times during the morning show.
How many times did you throw up?
Oh, how many times did I do the show while I was pregnant?
Seriously?
Pretty much daily. I mean, I would
Really?
say to Rhonda when we were doing mornings, when you left us, and it was just Rhonda and I on the mornings, I'm just not bitter about that anymore,
No,
am I?
I see that.
I would say to her, listen, you know, we'd be in commercial and we'd be coming back to go to weather.
Yeah.
And I would say to her, I'm not going to be here when you get back. Because, you know, weather, that would give me about 2.5 minutes, her forecast. And I would say to her, I'm not going to be here when you get back. I need you to toss to commercial break because then that would give me another couple minutes worth of commercials. So I would have 4 to 4.5 minutes to excuse myself from the set and then come back out. I mean...
That's pretty impressive when you think about it. Really, that's very impressive. I loved working with Natali all those years. I really did. Getting in a car with her is a whole different deal.
Listen.
No, seriously. This one...
You're going to have
you were from
officers tailing me
California,
now.
right? From California. So there's no such thing as a stop sign. Seriously. And I mean that in all honesty. Hey, I go, Nat, that was a stop sign.
Mere suggestion. It's a pause.
It was a pause.
That is just not true at all. I follow all rules of the road and all the laws all the time.
Oh, man, I'm kind of picking on you today, aren't I?
You are. What about you? Any favorite memories for you?
Well, I was never pregnant at K2.
That you know of, yeah.
I stop at stop signs.
Yeah,
and
you're just
that's all I need to know.
perfect, aren't you?
For the most part.
For the most part. But you worked some crazy shifts when we did mornings together.
Yes, we both did. It was.
But you would do that morning show.
And then the 6:30
And then the
p.m.
6:30.
news.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Would you nap in between? Now, you didn't have your son at the time.
No,
so you could
I
go
did
home
not.
and nap and just.
I would take a little, probably an hour nap, and then go back to work. How crazy was that, though?
It was
Who
crazy.
talked me into that? That's the question.
I don't know. You talked me into trying it, so I don't know who talked you into trying it. But how blessed were we with these careers? It was a whole lot. I mean, we skipped holidays.
Yeah.
We worked. We didn't get to stay home on snow days. We worked extra hours on snow days. It was a whole lot of fun in the chaos.
Were you thinking that when you were throwing up in the bucket there?
100% not. But I would have been sick somewhere. Might as well be sick at work.
Might as well be sick at work.
Sounds like that made it through the newsroom then. You knew that was happening, even if you weren't sitting next to me.
Oh, man, everybody's talking
I was
about it.
getting
They're
grief
still
about
talking
that.
about it.
They said it's
Still talking about it.
legendary.
Hey, let's bring our special guest on
Okay.
because this guy, let me just read a little bit of his resume.
Yeah.
All right? Seriously. You and I may have thought we had somewhat of a resume.
No.
We are nothing compared to this dude. His name's Kerry Tymchuk. You probably heard of him. He's the Boyle Family Executive Director of Oregon Historical Society. Named Most Admired Nonprofit Executive in Portland. Graduated from Willamette University College of Law. Served as a Marion County Deputy District Attorney, Director of Speechwriting to U.S. Secretary of Labor Elizabeth Dole, Director of Speechwriting and Legal Counsel to U.S. Senator Bob Dole, Chief of Staff to U.S. Senator Gordon Smith, wrote 4 books with the Doles, 4 autobiographies with Gert Boyle, Harry Merlo, Al Reeser, and Ken Austin. Served on tons of committees, still does, on boards, and 4-time Jeopardy champion. And
Kerry.
4-time
That's so amazing. We
Jeopardy
want to talk about
champion.
all of it.
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm great, and some of what you said is true. So
Well, we have 2 more pages to work through
Well,
on your
we
resume
do.
here.
I
so.
wish my late parents would have been here, as the old saying goes. My dad would have enjoyed that introduction, and my mother would have believed it. So,
Oh, isn't
Andy
that how it
plays the
works?
piano.
So-
Did we mention that? We have a piano in our studio, and beforehand, while Natali was stuck behind the train after getting her hair done, he was playing the piano beautifully.
What'd you play?
crazy.
What'd you play?
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, so not calling you crazy. I play crazy.
Most
so.
people do. So, you know, I'm.
That's funny. I got to ask you, because of all the things you've done, so many things in your lifetime, what do people ask you about the most?
Jeopardy.
It has to be.
Bar
Every
none.
time.
I mean, I could find a cure to the common cold, and people would still want to know and be more impressed with Jeopardy. It's such a universal
Sure.
thing, and everybody in America, knows what Jeopardy is. It's such a part of our culture. Every night, people watch it. That and Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
So
You weren't on that. You weren't.
I was not on that, but I say the most surreal moment of my life. I'm in with Senator Dole back when I was in D.C. working for him, and we're working on a speech, and all of a sudden, into his office pops former President Nixon,
Okay.
Wow.
who was in Washington, D.C. This is probably a year or 2 before he passed away. And I looked up and thought, holy smoke, it's Richard Nixon. And Senator Dole said, President Nixon is Kerry, is my speechwriter. He said, you had speechwriters in the White House, didn't you? And Nixon said, well, of course I did. And Senator Dole said, well, bet you didn't have one who won $40,000 on Jeopardy. And I thought, oh my gosh.
He says this to Nixon.
Yeah.
And Nixon says, I watch it all the time. Sit down and tell me about it.
Oh,
He
my.
was
So
President
he was
Nixon
even
wanted to
fascinated
know.
by it. So I just sit down and tell him about. He wanted to know all about how you got on and the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
And I joke. I should have said, "I'll take disgraced former presidents for 300, please, Alex."
Oh, yeah.
But didn't. So, but
That's a good thing.
That's
it's,
a great
Yeah, it's
story.
one thing that'll follow me wherever I go.
What do you share with people? What was that experience like? That's some of your favorite. What was so much
Once
fun?
I won once. It was okay. I just wanted to not embarrass myself. Win once. They tape 5 shows a day, 2 days a week.
Okay.
So they get 2 weeks of shows, Monday through Friday shows done in
We
2
need to
days.
remember this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was on 3 shows the first day, came back the next day and did 2 more. And then you have a very brief time to go back, change clothes because it's a
Right.
different day.
Right.
And so once I won once, though, I was okay.
Wow. How did you get on that program? Obviously, you apply, right?
Right. Well, back in that day, I mean, this is when I was on. I had hair. It was years ago. You had to go try out. I was out seeing friends in L.A. where it was taped, and went down and for a tryout, and you take a written test, and they kept a couple of us behind after the written test, and then you did a practice game where you
Okay.
rang a bell to see if you had a personality, and then they called me a couple weeks later and said, you're on. Can you come out? I was living in Washington, D.C., and so I had to fly out myself again. And
That's unbelievable.
And they don't do it that way anymore. They're not taking.
well,
a
now
test?
I know they have internet tests,
Okay.
and they travel around the country and do
Okay.
recruitment, that type of thing. It even came to Portland before, I think. And
Yep.
yeah,
They did. Yeah,
That
we
K2
did a
sponsored.
deal with
so
that.
yeah.
We did with
Remember
them.
that?
We've done that.
Do you remember any of the
I
questions
was just
they
going to
asked
ask
you?
you.
Oh, I remember quite a few of them, but everyone wants to know. Do you remember the questions you missed? Well, no, don't. Yeah,
Right.
yes, I do. But in my day, if you won 5 games, that was it, and you came back for the tournament champions.
Okay.
Now, of course, you can win
Forever. Right.
Ken Jennings, the host, famously won
Right.
75 times. There's a guy on now who's won 20 so in a row. But I lost the 5th game, and not that I still fixated on it, because I could have come back for the tournament had I won that
Sure.
one. So
Now, what if they'd asked you to be the host? Would you have done it?
that would be a pretty good gig.
No
So,
kidding.
Pretty good gig.
You've been good at that.
Oh, he would have been
he
great
would've
at
been
that. He
good
could
at
Ken
fill
is
in.
great. I like him, so
Yeah.
it was a nice choice.
Is
so.
there any sort of a reunion show? Some of the winners go back. Do you ever
They do
revisit that at
sometimes
all?
bring people back. Mine was long enough ago. It was
When was it?
It was 1989.
Okay.
You do the math. I was
Yeah.
2.
Right.
So yeah. So
That's
Was I
impressive.
born yet?
Yes,
I
it's
don't
So
know.
impressive, though. But we're going over this resume of yours, and you, Boyle Family Executive Director of the Oregon Historical Society, and you've You and I were talking as we were in the lobby before this. You've been there how long now?
15 years.
I can't believe that, 'cause I remember the day you started.
It was, it's gone by, like that. So
Wow. Tell us about that job. What does that entail?
it's an honor to have the job. And in some ways, everything I've done in my life has almost led up to this job. We're such a great cultural institution here in Oregon. Been around since 1898 with the mission of preserving Oregon's history and making it accessible to everybody. And we do that through our world-class museum and research library and great programs and an online presence. And history is so important, especially today when some might say it's under attack.
Right.
And our job, as I say, at the Historical Society, we're not the Chamber of Commerce, we're not the Tourism Bureau. They have important missions, they should do those. As the Historical Society, we need to tell the true story, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Oregon history. And
Well, we can't whitewash history.
we can't
right?
whitewash history,
Yeah.
and that's what we do. Right now, this is the America 250 this year. It's the semi-quincentennial.
Yeah.
Semi meaning half, quincentennial meaning 500, so half of 500 since the Declaration of Independence. And there are some who think, oh, this is all we need to do this year is promote America to celebrate and say everything's great. No, if you talk about the full history, yes, there's so much we can be proud about, but there's stuff we don't want to repeat
Right.
as we have gone on to look for this more perfect union. So one of the exhibits we have purposely this year is an exhibit on the Yasui family, this great Japanese-American family from the Hood River area who went through what all Japanese-American families had to go through after World War II, which was removal from their land, internment camps. Their son, Minoru Yasui, was the first Japanese-American member of the Oregon Bar.
Wow.
And when Pearl Harbor happened, they enacted a curfew in Portland for Japanese heritage. You couldn't be on the streets after a certain hour. He purposely broke the curfew, walked into a police station, said, arrest me. He wanted to test it. They did.
Okay.
9 months in solitary confinement before being off to the internment camps.
Yeah.
And after the war, he would fight for the rest of his life to get the government to admit that what they had done was unconstitutional. He died in the 1980s, but before President Obama left office, he gave him posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom,
Wow.
the highest award an American civilian can receive. He's the only Oregonian ever to receive that.
Wow.
And his famous quote was, "What's done to the least of us can be done to all of us."
Yeah.
And that's
a great quote.
important to remember.
And so you have a whole display.
A whole
for
display
his
on
family.
the family and the store they had in Hood River and how this impacted other, so many Japanese American families here on the West Coast in Washington, Oregon, and California.
Yeah. What are some other favorite? I mean, who comes? Is it mostly tourists who come in? Is it? I know our kids go on
School
field
groups,
trips. Right.
So many school groups. We're
Right.
almost
Great. I'm so glad they
great.
go.
History is important.
Right.
But yes, tourists from out of town, and then a lot of folks from here in town and from across Oregon, because of a levy that voters in Multnomah County have passed and renewed twice. All Multnomah County residents have free admission to the Oregon Historical Society, so you can come every day and see what's going on.
Do you have a favorite something there? A favorite
Well, we
piece
just
of
opened
history?
up a year and a half ago. We opened up a new permanent exhibit on the history of Portland called Rivers, Roses, and Rip City.
Okay.
And my two favorite items, one is you would love. It's the job offer letter that Harry Glickman, the founder of the Blazers, sent to Bill Schonley.
Oh, wow.
Offering him the job of announcer in
so-
1970
Wow.
at the princely salary of $25,000 a year.
Was Shanley up in Seattle? at
Shanley
that
was
time?
in Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, $25,000 a year, and no, you can't have a car. Shanley had clearly asked for a car,
Right.
a sponsor's car, and they didn't have a car sponsor at the time. And then the other item, my favorite, which I call the most Portland item about Portland.
Yeah.
It's the coat that Bud Clark was wearing
Oh, yeah.
in the Expose Yourself
Okay.
to Art poster.
Seen
Oh,
this?
my
Yeah,
gosh.
given to us by Thomas Lauderdale
Great.
of Pink Martini fame, who was a history buff himself.
Okay.
And Thomas gave this and said...
He had this coat.
He had the coat and said, I will give it to you if you put it on display. And I said, Thomas, what could be a better item in this exhibit
Right.
permanent exhibit on the history of Portland?
I can't believe it on the exploding whale.
We had the film.
The film.
gonna say,
exploded.
we have
Well, on
pieces.
our,
At
yes,
least there's
one of the
some
most
pieces of
popular
it.
films we have
Sure.
on our digital offerings. We also operate something called the Oregon Encyclopedia. www.oregonencyclopedia.org. It's essentially Wikipedia for all things Oregon. Only everything is true. I can't guarantee on Wikipedia if everything is true. Thousands of entries on the people, places, and things that make Oregon Oregon. You can spend a rainy weekend diving down one rabbit hole to another. It's over 1 million hits a year now. I get every month I get a report on the most read entry that month.
And
The runaway first, second, or third every month, 12 months of the year, the entry on Bigfoot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
People are endlessly fascinated with Bigfoot.
How can you not be though?
Yeah.
You're
And
fascinated with Bigfoot, aren't you?
Always. I've been out hunting
That's
for
all
them
she
for sure.
talks
It's all I
about.
The entry on Animal House, the
you?
movie,
Is it
you?
which was
Of
filmed in
course.
Eugene, of
Yes,
course.
yes.
But then serious entries like the Oregon Trail and the entry on the history of blacks in Oregon,
Yeah.
which should be required reading for every Oregonian to see the treatment received over the years. So,
Well, Kerry, we're going to take a quick break. What we're going to do, and when we come back, lots more to talk about. His affiliation with the Dole family.
So-
That's fascinating. And the books you've written, too.
So-
You get one going about Natali. Can you get that?
Yeah.
there you go.
Be at least one chapter.
One page, maybe.
Stop.
We got lots to talk about after this. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We continue our conversation right now with Kerry, and I wanted to ask you, well, number one, you're a native Oregonian, right?
Native Oregonian, born and raised in Reedsport, Oregon, on the Oregon coast.
Reedsport.
I try to try to imagine if you ever imagined this career that you would have. You've done so many things. I mean, again, going through this list, this laundry list, it's by the request of 4 Oregon governors. You previously served on the Oregon Criminal Justice Commission, the Oregon State Fair Council, as chairman of the Oregon Lottery Commission, and currently serving as chairman of the America 250 Oregon
And he
Commission.
plays the piano.
And he plays the piano like crazy, apparently. So what's part of this? What can we look forward to this summer?
For the 250?
Yeah.
That's, the commission kind of made the decision. We're not going to tell you how to celebrate or commemorate. There's no one way to celebrate to commemorate. So we took, the legislature provided about $500,000, $500,000 to the commission for activities. We established a grant competition, no, not a competition, a grant program for communities and schools and organizations around the state. To apply for these grants. We did 4 rounds of granting, and we've given away about 80 grants. With different, we adopted some guideposts like honoring Oregon's veterans, the importance of studying civics and history, some other guideposts like that. And as long as one of the programs was true to the guideposts, they were qualified to apply for the grant. And so there's 80 or so different programs going around across Oregon. I remember some folks in Baker, they got a grant, and they filmed a lot of citizens in Baker reading the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, wow.
From went from one to another as they
That's
read
neat.
it, and then put that online or on so just different ways to honor, to celebrate America, and to commemorate and remember. We're still not there yet. We haven't quite reached the perfect union. We're always on the lookout for a
Work
more
in
perfect
progress.
union. So
Still
progress.
a pretty
So, yeah.
great place to be. We're all
Exactly.
blessed to be here.
Let's talk about the Dole family and your partnership with them. The Labor Secretary Elizabeth Dole, of course, former Senator Bob Dole, who's since passed away. How did that all begin?
It's funny. I went back to Oregon. I was long fascinated with politics growing up. My dad was mayor for 8 years of our little town of Reedsport, a volunteer job, of course, back then. But whenever the congressman or senator or governor would come through town, they'd want to meet with the mayor, and my dad would drag me along. And for whatever reason, at a nerdily early age, I was fascinated with politics and in history, and went to Willamette University, which is right across the street from the state capitol, with the idea of staying involved. And worked during my college years for a family friend who was a state legislator. So I walk across the street from the dorm to the Capitol and work. And then after law school, I thought, well, I'll go back to D.C. for 1 year to do the Potomac Fever thing, to work for an Oregon congressman named Denny Smith, who was there long ago. And I fell in through a mutual friend with Mrs. Dole. There was an Oregonian named Jenna Dorn, who was her top person. And there was a time when Mrs. Dole went to the Labor Department as secretary, and she needed a speech to roast. She was going to give a roast of a union official. And Jenna appreciated my 12-year-old sense of humor and said, would you write this roast?
How old were you? 12?
No, yeah, I wasn't. No, I was kidding. but a
Be a better story
sense
if
of
you
humor
were.
like a 12-year-old. So I wrote a roast. It went over really well.
Yeah,
and
not
so I
surprising.
got the offer to be her chief of speech writing when she was Secretary of Labor.
That's great.
2 years into that, she resigned to go become president of the American Red Cross.
Right, I remember that.
And her husband, Bob Dole, the Senate leader, had heard good things about me from her, and he needed a chief of speech writing, and they struck a deal where he hired me full time, and I also had a contract with the Red Cross and continued to do a lot of her speeches and review the Red Cross material to make sure it sounded like her. And that for 6 years.
I was going to say, how long did you end up staying in D.C.?
That's when I lost my job. I lost my hair, I mean. For 6 years, I had 2 full-time jobs working for both Senator Dole and Mrs. Dole. But it was an honor. I mean, 2 of the finest public servants you could ever imagine. And him, a true American hero, of course. Grievously wounded in the World War II in the final days, and never regained use of his right arm, and a leader. Boy, do we need people like him now. Bipartisan, always looking for a compromise, just trying to find a solution, and the best sense of humor in Washington D.C.
Yeah, you could see that.
Quickest wit. I helped him with 2 books on humor. One called Great Political Wit, Laughing Almost All the Way to the White House. Wow. And one called Great Presidential Wit, I Wish I Was in This Book, by Bob Dole, where we did the first ever ranking of presidents by their sense of humor.
Okay.
Really?
And what we discovered in the book is the presidents that we ranked as the biggest sticks in the mud, the least funniest. Folks like Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, these are all presidents. They're presidents that historians have ranked as the
Heard of them.
as the least successful.
Right.
And the presidents that we ranked as the best sense of humor are presidents that historians have ranked as the most
Who's the best sense of humor?
Who was the funniest?
Well, the top 2, number 2, which I'm sure many of your listeners would guess, Ronald Reagan.
Oh, sure.
We
Yes.
read almost every
charismatic.
speech he gave as president, and it's hard to find more than a handful that didn't begin with a story, a joke, an anecdote from his Hollywood days. And number 1, Abraham Lincoln.
No.
Really?
America's greatest president, many believe, and also the funniest. A scholar of that era said that Lincoln raised the level of wisecracking to the level of biblical scripture. And as a self-made man from the backwoods of Kentucky, as an attorney in Illinois, he had to develop, a whole collection of jokes and shaggy dog stories and anecdotes to tell judges and juries and clients. And of course, president during the most difficult time in American history, when the nation broke in half and went to war, and he depended on humor to get him through.
I think most people would be surprised to hear
the
that.
dark days. Absolutely.
Yeah.
With Reagan, not so much.
Right.
But what you know as speech writers and these guys, especially Reagan being an actor, how much of that, though, is them versus they had a good writer?
Back in the day, Lincoln wrote his own stuff.
Lincoln was writing his
Yeah, there was
himself.
no
Yeah,
speechwriter.
right.
Now it's a lot of them have writers, of course, but they have to be able to have
Deliver it.
and know good material when they see it.
Right.
But Senator Dole was fond of saying that good leaders not only need strong backbones, they need strong funny bones.
Yes.
And time again, I saw him in tense negotiations with a group of senators, and you'd think that it's going to break apart. He would tell a quick little joke or say something funny, and boom, the meeting's back on track, and off they go.
So you've written how many books now? You've been involved with 4 autobiographies.
4 autobiographies, 4 or so with the Doles, and
With Gert.
And Gert was, again, what an honor it was. And Steve, of course, was a great pal of Gert's. We were very fortunate to be pals of Gert. It was so much fun to be Gert's friend and to help her with her book called One Tough Mother, to tell her amazing story was an honor. And
What's your favorite Gert story?
Oh, gosh. Well, the one that really cemented her status as Oregon's patron saint, as the Oregonian once called her, which was the kidnapping incident.
Right.
When, of course, she in her mid to late 80s, she was still living on her own in a kidnapping plot where they took her in the house. Had one guy had bound and gagged her and was waiting for his accomplice to show up. And she said, when he said, "Let's go in the house," she said, "I have to ring the security code," which she rang the code that also rang at the police station.
Sure.
So the police came. Eventually, everything worked out. At the end of the night, all her family had gathered. The police chief of Westland came by to see her one more time and said, "Mrs. Boyle, I just came by one more time to see if you were all right." And she looked at him and said, "Everything was all right until you came in with that North Face jacket on." So, I mean, to have the presence of mind to do that after what she went
so
through,
her.
that was her. I know, Steve, you miss her. We were talking, and
Miss her
I miss her
dearly.
too. So.
Well, I have a similar story about her, and I was doing something for K2 where we're going up running up the steps of the Big Pink, and I had on that day it was a North Face pullover.
How
and
dare you?
I
What were
know
you
it.
Yes, what were you thinking?
So K2 puts it on the news, and as soon as the thing ran, my phone's ringing.
Oh my
She goes, I say, "Hey, Gert." She says, "What are you wearing?" I said, "Right
It wasn't
now?"
the call you usually get with somebody asking you that, is it?
And I said, "What's that?" She said, I just saw you on the news. What is that North Face top you're wearing? I said, oh, man, I'm sorry. And I'm thinking, is she watching me in the Safeway everywhere I go throughout the day?
Yes.
I mean,
She will
yes.
be, yeah.
But she was just such
It
a.
was so fun. She offered me money. She didn't harass me. She just offered me money. So she must have liked me a little bit better. She offered me money again in true Gert form right when I left the station.
Is this true story?
True story.
Yeah, so-
I end
Why
up
is
in
this
her
not in the
office.
book?
I know.
Yes.
Where was my chapter there,
Right.
Kerry? I end up in her office one day talking to her. Hey kid, I loved her, and she looks at me and she opens her top drawer, pulls out her checkbook, and said, "Do you need any money?"
Yeah, so
Seriously?
She did.
She never did that
I
for
should have
me.
said she
Well,
never did that for you.
I knew immediately where I stood with her because we had never met, and then Peter Bragdon, who worked Columbia
Yeah.
Legal Counsel,
Peter.
great
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
he called me and said, "Hey, we've been trying to find someone to help Gert with her autobiography, and we haven't met him. She hasn't met anybody that she like. Would you come out and meet with her?" So I did, and we hit it off from the get go, and then. Jonathan Nicholas, who was then of course, the social columnist for the Oregonian, got word of it and did a little column about it where he said that this book was going to be coming out. And he said, I went to both of them for quotes. And he said, Tymchuk said, what an honor it is to be working with such a great Oregon icon.
Right.
Gert Boyle said, he's so cute and
I remember that.
cute and small, I almost want to put him on my mantle. So, well, her, who was she barely 5 feet? I'm a
Right.
towering 5'7". To call me cute and small, so there you go. So
We all miss her.
Yeah, we
all
all
miss
do,
her.
so.
Fun. And by the way, I
Every
never
single
took
day.
any money from her. I should
I was gonna-
clarify
that's my
that.
next question. The next question, whether you took the money. Hey, we do this thing at the end of the program called the Circular File.
Okay.
We've come a odd little story that we tell. You can kind of weigh in and tell me what you thought. It is not a lottery story.
Oh, shocking.
We've done lottery stories the last
he's been
couple
trying to encourage me to play the
weeks.
lottery, I
Lottery?
think. Good.
Yeah.
What do you
well,
have
when
this
I was
week?
chairman, they gave me the Powerball numbers, so I
Why did you never share
just kidding,
those?
just kidding.
We should have had him in sooner.
We absolutely should have. We'll have him on again for sure. So a balloon landed in Southern California backyard over the weekend. Did you hear about this?
Might have been the one I released.
A balloon with 13 people on it.
Oh, yeah.
The enormous hot air balloon descended perfectly Saturday on a narrow plot of grass at a home in Temecula, California. The homeowner said he had no idea that he had visitors until the neighbor called him. Said, hey, what's the deal with that balloon in your backyard? Couple was riding in the balloon to celebrate their 10th wedding anniversary. Had some problems with the low fuel and a shift in the winds. Emergency landing in this backyard and a 10-foot wide plot of grass. I've seen the pictures.
Are they okay?
Absolutely incredible. Everybody's fine. They have a great picture of all 13 people in the balloon in the backyard just taking a picture.
Wow.
Have
So
you
if
ever
that's your
been in
10-year... Have I been to Temecula?
No.
I've been,
let me
I
start
have.
there.
It's great wine country.
Have you been in a hot air balloon?
No, I've had zero interest to ever go up
I'm
in a
with
hot...
you on that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Things like this could happen.
It could. Have you been in a hot air
I
balloon?
have never been in a hot air balloon.
No, they're
Have you
pretty
been
to
in
look
Temecula?
at.
I don't know if I've ever been to Temecula either. So
You've been wine tasting.
I have been wine tasting. So, but I confess to show you what a classy guy I am. My wine rule is the more it tastes like Kool-Aid, the better I like it.
I'm going to write that down.
Right.
now. That is it.
We're
You
gonna
should
go
have
wine
your own
tasting
wine
too.
label or something, shouldn't
Yeah.
he? And all this stuff this guy has done.
He's about to work with a winemaker at any point. I mean, it's only a
You
matter
know
of
that's
time.
coming up.
That's coming up next.
Well,
yeah.
and Oregon we did an exhibit at OHS about the Oregon wine industry called Clink, a toast to Oregon
Oh, yeah,
wine,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is turned into a traveling exhibit and is now still going across the state to different museums. So
Okay,
Hey, is
nice.
there any chance you give us just a quick little tune on the piano before we go?
Listen.
Just a quick one.
He asks me every week too. You can
Is
tell
that-
him no. It's
is that
fine.
mo-
You just tell
He's
him.
you
I
should hear
believe
him
he can play. Well, I want to hear crazy now. I thought he was just calling
crazy.
me crazy.
So sure.
All right, here we go.
All right.
This is good.
Hey, Kerry, thank you so much for joining us this week. And you go over and
This is so good.
you are just...
No, this is
me-
watch.
You're right. He's our house band.
He's our house band. This is it from now on. We get a little drummer in here, a little
Yeah,
saxophone.
That's going to be
We're
you.
good.
I'll do tambourine.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you, Kerry.
You are. That just proves you can do everything.
Yeah. Well, you need to add that to your resume, by the way.
I'll leave that to Thomas Lauderdale. So
There you go.
Hey, he's
Oh.
going to hear this, and he's going to want you to fill in at some
you need
point.
to get him on the show.
Yeah,
Yes.
next.
He will be
For sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do for
Has
our
he,
state,
has he been on
for our
Jeopardy,
city.
though? That's the question.
Right.
Thomas Lauderdale.
Yeah, not until he wins 4 times, right?
So-
But thank you, truly.
Yes, Kerry Tymchuk. Always great to see you, my friend. See you later, folks.
Have a great evening. We'll see you next time.